you for your time. This is a token of our friendship, and this is all been granted. Like the house of I think we, for the House of Commons, House of Reps.
We have a lot to go.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson.
And then, so last week, the president on Friday assented to the bill and made it an act of parliament. So it has started going through implementation. And then many of us were also not around in Abuja. So it also coincided with the period where one of the ancestors in the Senate, the ones we call the landlords, he's been a parliamentarian for 20 years so far, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria here, Senator Abaribe. He celebrated his 70th birthday, and so we were all out of town. The difficulties of movement, not from the from the airport to the venue, may take like three hours plus. So you are looking at 7 hours to and fro, because Nigeria is very vast, and the terrain is sometimes difficult. So we are sorry that we didn't meet you on time, but we look forward to another time when we'll be waiting for you before you arrive. So for now, I'm delighted to welcome the Guild Labour, the British Deputy High Commissioner. You're welcome, and all the colleagues, the parliamentarians. I don't want to repeat the names because the master of ceremony had almost killed most of your names. So Kate, even Kate Ofune Osamo, that sounds somehow familiar. He couldn't pronounce it well. So you can imagine when he's talking about Rebecca Claire Cooper, difficult to pronounce, David Gordon, yes, Mundell. I'm trying to see whether any of the names featured in Premier League. So Frederick Jacob Celsius Thomas, and then Jonathan Woods. That sounds like Quaker Woods. That one is very easy. And then we have Karen Ann Bradley, and then Jacob Tesha. Am I right? Did I get it well? Tesha Luz, right, from CPA, UK, Africa region. Magdalene Belaidi. The last name is IDI, right? IDI. So that sounds like Idi Amin. Yeah, you know, his first name was Idi, and he almost changed the name of Uganda to Idi until somebody reminded him, that, like Cyprus, that the people from there are called Cypriots, and that if you change the name, then Ugandans will now be called idiots. and so he was happy. He said, you know, only two of us are the most intelligent people in Uganda. So for saying that, I don't want to be called idiot. So the name will remain Uganda. That's why we still have Uganda today. Otherwise, it would have been called Idi Nation. So you have Helen Zantheki, and of course, Beta and Beatrice Thomas, and then Matthew Ayibakuro. Are you the one? Nice to see you. And then, of course, David Snelling. So outside that, I don't think I have other names here, but I just want to recognize other members of the delegation and to say that, yes, the leaders of the Senate are here. We had another function in Lagos also opening today. That is West African Parliament. Members of the, how do I call it? ECOWAS, Economic and Community of West Africa. The ECOWAS countries are meeting today, members of parliament in Lagos. Now I wish they met here, so it would have been an opportunity for you to also interact with them. But for me, I don't know whether we are going to speak in camera or before the television, but I welcome you. And I hope after this meeting that we'll have a strong bond of relationship to be able to have a diplomatic shuttle, parliamentary diplomatic shuttle, an exchange of visits, and at the same time, exchange of ideas on how to make the world a better place. So the Nigerian legislative houses here, the National Assembly, we have two chambers. We have the House of Representatives, and we also have the Senate. So just like you have the Commons, and then you have the House of Lords. I think the only difference is that our president does not attend our own sitting. In your own country, your prime minister attends your sitting, and quite educative. But does he have time to work when he's always in the when he's always in the city?
He travels.
He does sometimes.
He's able to do his work. He has a big team, the
Yes,
executive.
because I always watch it and I enjoy when he's answering questions real time,
Yes,
and then you're able to correct the administration real time. So if anything goes wrong, you ask him on the spot, and then he will explain. So you put him on the spot. It helps in terms of oversight functions and all that. And so we are delighted. So be that as it may, I think your visit will be very productive. So let me, on behalf of my colleagues, welcome all of you with gratitude. And I believe strongly that as guardians of a great and noble tradition, the Parliament, that you will avail us of your own experiences. Now, a tradition that has stood the test of time, one that has weathered the storms, braved tempests, and yet stands unyielding. This is a tradition of democracy. You have come to us not as strangers, but as brothers and sisters. And in fact, this is your part of your country. We don't forget our history, our genealogy. In fact, our DNA is tied to yours. So we welcome you. And to say that we are bound together indelibly by history. The relationship between our nations was not born in ease, nor was it crafted in comfort, but yet it forged in the fires of struggle, tempered by the demands of history and strengthened by the mutual resolve to build a freer and better and fairer world. The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association has, for over a century now, stood as a steadfast sentinel of democracy, holding high the torch of good governance, legislative excellence, and the unshakable belief that a nation's strength lies not in its wealth, nor its armies, but in the integrity of its institutions and the freedom of its people. So Nigeria is what we may call fledgling democracy. We've had a steady democracy from 1999 to date, and we are praying that this will continue. So whatever it is, we just want to assure you that the bill that you are referring to is highly supported by us, and then we'll be able to fill you in when the press leaves with what we are doing and hear from you what we think we should do. But again, let me remind you of the visit of the former president of Uganda, the same Idi Amin. You know, when he came, he was at Buckingham Palace. After the Queen received him, as he was stepping out, he saw the grass looking so beautiful. And he went down to look at the lawn. He put his leg inside, and it was very lofty. And he asked the Queen, can this be supplanted and then made available in Uganda? He would like to have it in his palace. And so the horticulturalist was called, and they asked, can you go to Uganda and replicate what he has seen here? And the man said yes. But to water it to get to this level, it will take 250 years. So you have a democracy and a parliament that has lasted for over a century. And here you have a parliament that has not lasted for up to 30 years. So we have a lot to learn from you. Your visit is going to be productive. We'll go into a bit of closed session, as we call it, to discuss the nitty-gritty of it. So what we call in Nigeria is clause-by-clause considerations. And when we are doing that, we normally tell the press to leave. But my prayer is that God that brought you in will take you back safely, and that at the end of this visit, we will have formed a strong CPA, UK, Parliamentary, Nigeria cooperation that will outlive us and continue to bring about good governance and freedom of speech and freedom of association, improving trade, and then also improving the living standard of people in our various countries. So you're welcome. I thank you.
Come along to the Assembly to actually meet and to work with alongside the clerks and the parliamentarians who are trying to get the special seats bill over the line. And I really would love to hear from you and know what you're doing to support this bill to ensure that it does happen. But I want you to also recognise this is a cross-party delegation. So we have come as cross-party members from the House of Commons and also from the House of Lords, which is very similar to the House of Senate. And we really want to learn from you and exchange ideas and start a very broader conversation. Because if this bill is able to get over the line, we can start looking at other things of how we can work together. So I know we don't have a lot of time, but we really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, sir, for giving up your time to speak to us and to hear from us. And I just want you to now hand the floor over to your good self to hear from you. Thank you.
And also because His Excellency attached, and after that, His Excellency.
Welcome. Let me start by
Register for the lead member of this delegation to please append a signature. Thomas, welcome you. Magdalene L. Belady.
Introductions, and thank you